Hello, greetings. This is going to be a video that is probably more for those particularly interested, because if and others might see me as slightly crazy, but probably people see me as slightly crazy as it is. Anyway, I got a question on whether or not if you're pagan, if you're a pagan Gorean, if it is possible to uh, basically worship priest kings. And I will tell you a few ideas on how you can do that. And I would say that now, if you're gonna do this, it's easier if you're either a chaos, like me, I'm a follower of chaos magic, because basically we do things like this all the time. We like to take things out of fiction and use it for our real life magical practices. It's what we do. Uh, and it's also easier if you are a non-chaos pagan, if you have the belief that all gods are just faces of the goddess and the god, because as such, you can easily make these faces yourself to more fit your lifestyle and personality, because you will still then be worshipping the gods. If you have a belief that the gods are real spiritual or even physical entities that you worship, then this will be harder, because of course the priest kings are alien bugs in fictional series of fiction books. So yeah, it's that. However, if you are the type that thinks that using the Cthulhu mythos by Lovecraft is a great way to practice magic, then you will have no problem with it. Now, the first question, of course, is should you do this? And I definitely don't think that you need to be a pagan Gorean. I've heard some Pagan Goreans talk about it, so I've gave it some thought. Now, of course, in the books, and I don't mean to spoil anything here, so just stop the video if you have a problem with that. Good, you guys are still here. Basically, the priest kings are not gods as the general Goreans believe. They are powerful, yes, but they're aliens, they're bugs. They look like very, very big, golden colored cockroaches that walk upright like a human being. So, yeah. But some people feel that as pagan Goreans, they would feel more connected with the Gorean philosophy if they included it in their religious life. And I definitely think that you can take the image then of priest kings and worship them and see it as them being another face of the gods. It's just a face that you have collected from fiction instead of from instead of real life mythology, and that you reach the gods through them. Or if you're a chaot, you can easily then just say, oh, okay, yeah, they're from fiction. So what? No, reality isn't hard and fast. Fiction is as real as anything else. And just use it that way. Now, if you are a believer in literal gods, basically that the gods are entities in and of itself, what can you do? Well, there are several gods in various world mythologies that are bugs. For example, Khepera, the Egyptian creation god, and by then adopting patron gods that are bugs, you can get sort of that feeling, even if you then don't go directly for the priest king. So that's my advice there. If you want to have real life mythological beings that you worship, then going for bug gods would be your best bet. If you, however, see that the gods are creations of our own mind, that is just putting faces on something so great we cannot understand it, then you stand free to adopt priest kings as your personal patrons. So, how should I do it? Well, in the books there aren't that much described as how priest kings are worshipped. The Gore book doesn't go into a great deal of detail on that. For me, I have written a few rituals that are based around the priest kings. And um, basically, what you have to do, you have to read up on what the priest kings are. They are basically hive-minded. They work in hives. The queen is the highest entity among them. So the female entity is above the male one. And they are golden in color, extremely intelligent, and can be seen as a sort of peacekeepers, or basically they don't they will not hesitate to give you a flame death if you disobey them, but at the same time they are sort of safeguardians because they believe that we human beings of Earth will destroy ourselves without technology. Humankind just are not ready for it, and so they have taken human beings to Gore to populate it and keep us safe from ourselves. You can see them as guardians of Earth. As such, you can easily see them as Earth entities. One way to do it, for example, if you're going to go by the typically neo-pagan model, is that you have the queen as the goddess and a golden male as the god, and you can make up models of them, or you can go to a toy store and find basically toy bugs, spray paint them gold, and do stuff. And then basically do and then basically do your typically Wiccan rituals, Wiccan or neo-pagan rituals, but replace the names of the goddess and god with then the queen and the golden one. They but I like to go a little bit in depth with it. So basically, what are their qualities? What correspondences would they include? Well, they're bugs. So right there we have our Earth correspondence, the Earth creatures. They are the protectors of Gore, which is a planet with also a spaceship. It gets complicated, but they are the protector of that planet by trying to keep people more in tune with nature. So you can see them as nature guardians. They are starfarers, so you can definitely see them as old wise ones. And they have vast medical technology, so you can see them as great healers. And they also have this flame dust of them, and pretty aggressive, so you can see them also as warrior gods. So basically, they will be wise healers and keepers of knowledge, while at the same time being protectors and warriors. That is how I would see the priest kings if I were going to see them as spirits or gods to worship. So basically, what I would do is that I would make a shrine, basically some space, where I would have some sort of statue. Now, you can, like I said, find bug pieces in toy stores. You can make them yourself, or I would probably go actually with scarabs, because there are so many variants of them, and some of them are so beautiful. So, and it's relatively easy to get them. And what I would then do is that I would see living by the Gorean philosophy as a form of worship to these gods. I would see that trying to stay true to your own nature as a human animal is a way to honor these gods. And I would perhaps spice it up with sacrifice of food, stuffs, and so on this shrine. Perhaps light a few candles, that kind of thing. Now also for magic, what correspondences do they hold? Like I said, they, I listed off their qualities, which would be their correspondence. Other correspondence that they would have, for example, is that they would be associated with the Hara chakra because, first of all, bugs are very much within the sphere of knowledge that the Hara chakra controls. Um, and at the same time, they force men and women to live by their animalistic natures, which is also those animalistic natures is very much part of the Hara chakra. So I would say that the priest kings as entities would be most associated with the Hara chakra. At the same time, they are golden in color, which would be associated with the solar plexus and also the crown chakra, which again would indicate their nature as gods, because they are the crown chakra, which is the spiritual chakra, at the same time the solar plexus chakra, which is the chakra of self-development and the knowledge of self. For crystals, for a color I would say anything golden color would be a good correspondence to them. So Pyrite would be good. Anything with golden flakes like lapis lazuli. Stones associated with space travel would be a good one, like meteorites, for example. Those are the two stones I got at once that would be good as stone correspondences with them. Various stones that have to do with bugs and basic life would also be stones that associate themselves with the Hara chakra could also be good ways to represent them. For symbols, I would say probably the scarab is the best symbol, since that then ties into real earth worship. There are other bug gods, definitely, but Keparu and the Egyptian scarab is the most well known and the one that's most alive in our sphere of knowledge. Um, what else? I would say uh, symbols of motherhood would be good because they are the Priest King society is very much based around the queen and the hive. And as such, I would say the queen would be a good fertility goddess, and she would also be good, a good since she presides over the hive. She would be a good entity to call on for house and home. So yeah, um, anything to do with nature, then a respect for nature would be a good symbol. And I could say that technology could actually be a good symbol because they have the technology, though they forbid humans to have it. very much technology is a centered thing because they want to protect humans from it at the same time to have it themselves. So, uh, so basically, uh, technological instruments like computers and so on could be used to represent them correspondingly within the element of correspondence, basically to add magical correspondences to it. So, yeah, and of course this is just the first video of many about these things because it will then end up as a pretty big topic. This is just some random collection of ideas on how you can use these fictional creatures in your everyday practice as a pagan if you're also a Gorean. What else? I would say that anything that associates with stars and such things will be a good way to symbolize them. And I also think that, for example, wearing white or a white robe and doing rituals associated with the Priest Kings could be a nice touch, as the initiates within the series do wear white. So, for example, how I would do a ritual that invokes the power of this idea, because really, to me, gods very much are ideas of energy, but also believe they have their own consciousness. And I do believe that when we take fictional elements, like for example fictional gods, and apply them to real life practice, what we do is that first of all, I do think that when we create something, even if we create something just for fiction, that gets a reality within spirit, because it's still creation, and we create a link to this, a link to a reality where these beings are real. And as such, it has a great potential to carry over energy and go both good and bad. So basically what I would do, for example, let's say, since they are healers, I might want to have a healing ritual. So, thinking of a ritual on the spot here, I would light some cedarwood incense because it's associated with the wife and they do claim to be gods. And I would place some scarabs on the altar and light a green candle because of their association with earth. I could also use a brown or golden candle. And I would probably anoint this candle with more cedarwood oil. I might also place some lapis lazuli on the altar, some moss agate, or some pyrite. I think that's the name in English. I'm not completely sure. It's those that looks almost like gold or copper. They use very often cubical in shape. And I would write into the candle a symbol or a short description of the illness. Let's say I had an ankle that needs healing. And I would light this candle and I would envision these beings standing around me. The Priest Kings, the great golden males, and the Queen. And I would either bow or curtsy. And this isn't that thing that's specific to that ritual, but I generally do that in ritual when associating with gods. Quite often I do that. It's a sign of respect for me. And I would say, Great Priest Kings, please hear your humble servant's prayer. In your wisdom and with your technology, could you please heal this ailment I have and describe the ailment? And basically envision these beings using their instruments to heal and set your ankle or whatever illness you have straight. And when you are done, you say, "Thank you, O great Priest Kings, for your generosity and kindness." And let the candle burn all the way down. And I would also recommend that next day on your shrine or altar, you leave a sacrifice. Rice is a good sacrifice for any magical ritual, honey, or you can try to do something, go through the books and see for the various things that are used for sacrifice within there. That would be a simple ritual that uses that where you associate it with the priest kings. Now, for a religious ritual, for example, a full moon rite, I would focus on the queen. Again, I would spread the altar with scarabs, and I would light a silver candle because that associates with the moon. But since it is associated with Gora might actually light either 3 silver candles, or you just carve the 3 moon symbol into the candle. And I would stand there, and I would again light some cedar wood. I would stand and I would envision the moon. And yes, you might cast circles and all of this in addition. I haven't included that to not make this video too long. And I would envision the moon, and I would say, "The great queen of heavens travels through the cosmos. Like you, my queen, presides over your hive. Your beauty astounds me, and your wisdom amazes me. Please, O great queen of home and family, bless me and bless my family. In your honor, O great queen and beautiful moon, I light these candles here in your night of your greatest magnificence." And yeah, then you get some of the point using the symbolism, using visualization, and basically taking as much as you can from the Gore books and then filling in with correspondences that associate with what these beings are described as being. That is how you can include them into your pagan practice. And again, like I said, to me it's a chaos. I don't believe that there is any truth. I believe that reality is chaos. And as such, I also believe that fiction and reality isn't really a huge difference. Reality is the reality that we, most human beings, believe in right here and now, while fiction also has its reality out there. And as such, using beings from magical systems or anything else from fiction is completely okay. I also think that if you believe that all gods are faces of the god and all goddesses are faces of the goddess, then you can easily excuse me, then you can easily see these beings as, though fiction, being those faces. Now, will doing this make you feel more Gorean? I don't know. For some people, I think it can, because it also brings some of the religion of the books into their everyday life. For others, it would mean absolutely nothing. For me, I think it's an interesting concept because I, as a chaot, are very interested in using fiction and applying that to real life occult practice. It's one of the things that have drawn me to the Gorean lives in the first place, because Goreans take fiction and apply it to their real lives. And that's actually a very chaotic thing to do. So, yeah, to me it's a very interesting concept. But I don't think that you immediately becomes more Gorean like that if you do it. but I do think it can be an interesting thing if you want to add one more element of your life to your Gorean lifestyle and applying it to how you live as a real life Gorean. So yeah, I hope you have enjoyed this video. I don't think you need too crazy. Have a great day and blessed be.